Welcome to the Crown Sports Podcast. We are very excited to be talking Utah High School athletics with you. I'm your host, Brad Richins.
And I'm your co-host, Niko, Klus, along with our producer, Braun, Butterfield.
Well, Niko, we've hit the conclusion of two classifications in basketball and their championships. 2A girls and 2A boys at Weber State are now finalized and concluded. And the same with 3A down in Richfield. 3A boys and 3A girls are now done. We're going to focus on the 3A boys. And just before we start, can you admit that I was right last week?
Yeah, you were right.
Okay, who did I pick to win the title?
Agree to disagree.
Who did I pick to win the title?
I guess it was Morgan.
And who won the title?
Morgan.
Okay.
I picked, what did I pick, Providence Hall?
Yeah, Providence Hall.
Yeah, they kind of let me down, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, Manti's always a tough draw in the first round.
But, I mean, I thought they would have played better than that because they kind of got spanked. But
it was close until the third quarter.
Yeah, and kind of Manti pulled away, and it's kind of hard to catch back up.
When your opposing team hits 5 threes in a row, it's kind of hard to come back from that.
Yeah, that's a lot of points to make up really fast.
So we're on a championship run here on the Crown Sports Podcast. Hopefully we'll be able to schedule some more interviews with the championship teams and coaches coming up in the next few weeks. But this week, like we said, Morgan Trojans taking home the title to Morgan in the 3A boys basketball in Richfield, defeating the Richfield Wildcats, who a lot of people thought, Niko, that they were going to be able to take home the title and defeat Morgan.
I think after they played South Severe at home, with how well and easily they beat South Severe, a lot of people had them pegged as an easy run to the title. But Obviously Morgan had other thoughts in their mind. They came out to play.
And the thing that I mentioned last week, and we talked to Coach Matthews a few weeks ago, and one of the things that I said why I picked them to win the title is that their depth was so much more advanced and ahead of everyone else in the tournament. When I went down to Orem High School and watched all games, Morgan was the ones that could go 9, 10, 11 deep without skipping a beat on the court, and they really showed that in the tournament as well, because Coach Matthews has that trust in his players instilled that whoever he plugs in, he knows that they can do their duty.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with just how the younger kids have the confidence from the Coach Matthews, where he just inserts them in the game regardless of the situation, and they know that he has enough trust in them to be able to make plays.
And we saw that they probably had the toughest. All the three teams they defeated were from Region 15, stacked region.
They had the toughest path to the finals.
They beat South Severe. Obviously, James Edwards always picks them to be in the title, but they were able to take out the Rams.
He has his own thought process, though.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. And then they beat the Manti Templars, the defending champs from last year. Really good coach, and they always press and do a good job in the tourney. And then taking out Richfield, the number 1 seed from Region 15.
Yeah, by far the first game. The playing game was their easiest, and then after that, the quote-unquote seeding didn't really matter because South Severe and Manti, those are two tough teams that could easily win that tournament on any given day.
And the main guy, we'll be talking to him in a few moments, Trey Miles, their leading scorer and their senior leader. What really impressed him, we had a few chances to watch him live. He's a really passionate, really emotional guy, really good leader. He keeps his wits about him no matter what's happening in the game and the contest. And he is always wanting to make the right play. He's not a selfish player at all.
No, but he plays with a passion that's good passion, where, he's uplifting his teammates as well as getting excited for the ball game. And when somebody makes a good play, he's on them, telling them a good job. And if they make a bad play, he says, let's just try better next time. Where he's that type of leader that makes you always want to play better. And his teammates followed that lead.
And offensively, Coach Matthews said when we interviewed Coach Matthews a few weeks ago from Morgan High, how Trey Miles is their most gifted scorer, pure basketball shooter, but how they never run a play strictly for him to score the ball, how he always just lets the game come to him, and that impresses me.
Yeah, well, for a high school kid, that's usually when people want to, or young kids want to take the stardom, I guess you'd say, where they want to be the guy. And the fact that he's a senior and able to just go, let the game flow and just go with it, that's pretty impressive and pretty humble. And now a word from our sponsor.
Want custom cabinets for your home done right? Summit Cabinet has been specializing in formal, unique, and handcrafted custom cabinets since 1992. If you're looking to upgrade the cabinets in your home, feel free to contact Summit Cabinet at 435-783-4300.
So, Niko, considering the fact that one of us was right in who would take state in the 3A boys, it's irrelevant as to who was right. But a large part of the Morgan Trojans' success came from the senior leader of that in Trey Miles. And Miles led the team this year in scoring with over 16 points per game and also won the tournament MVP this weekend down in Richfield. And he joins us now on the Crown Sports Podcast. Trey, thanks for coming on, and congratulations on taking state last weekend.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah, we were able to talk to Coach Matthews a few weeks ago, so it's good to finally have a chance to talk to a player on the Morgan team. So, but before we get into anything this year that happened this year, take us back last year down in Dixie State University down in St. George. You guys were expected by a lot of people, especially up north in Region 13. You guys were projected to not only take state by a lot of fans and a lot of onlookers, but to at least advance to the semis or at least to the title game. So we know you ended up losing to the Manti Templars, who ended up going to take state. Take us into that locker room. Did you feel like you guys underachieved last year, or what was the general feeling among you guys last year in the locker room?
Yeah, we definitely underachieved last year. We had so much potential that we didn't reach to it, and it was a really hard feeling after that loss. Just everybody was down on themselves, thinking like, I could have done this so much better. I could have done this. That's what I was thinking. Like, if I did this instead of that, if I was more aggressive, if Caleb Calderon didn't get hurt, all those factors played into that. Everybody was just kind of down themselves, and it was just it was a hard moment for sure in that locker room.
And with that, what was your biggest motivation this offseason after what happened last year? What motivated you personally?
So yeah, in that state game, I was timid because we've never been in that situation before. I was very timid. I wasn't aggressive like I should have been. And over the off season, I was like, I've got to buckle down, prepare myself mentally and physically to be ready for that kind of situation again, because I know it's going to happen, and I'm going to do my best. So make sure I'm not timid. I'm more aggressive in the state games because that's when we need it most. And so that was what motivated me the most in off season.
So fast forward from then until this season, the last regular season loss you guys suffered to was Layton Christian Academy, who we know ended up taking state in the 2A classification. So after that loss, what was the main thing that changed for you guys in order to go on and win 9 straight and eventually win a title? Was there anything that kind of flipped the switch after that game?
Yeah, a lot of defense was the big thing I think that switched after that game. And I think kind of just playing to our roles as well and being smarter and playing harder, because after that game I was pretty down on myself. I wasn't very happy with my performance, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I can from right now, because state's pretty close, and and the teams that we're going to be playing in this game could be similar to Layton Christian, very high caliber teams. And so I was like, I'm going to do whatever I can so I can play better, not like because I played bad in the game. I can play better in those state games because that's when I need it. And so I went and personally worked hard after practice, went to the church after with my dad and shot as much as I could. Just all those little things to help me prepare for the state and stuff.
And what were some of the things that maybe your Coach Matthew said, or that you said to your team after that loss, that kind of kept you, motivated to flip that switch?
Well, I kind of did. My dad actually said some stuff to me. It was like, that's not what kind of player you are in that game. And he kind of was disappointed in me, and just kind of like this disappointment. And I was disappointed in myself, and it just kind of motivated me. Like, I'm not going to have that feeling again because it kind of sucks. And so I just went and worked. I mean, Matthews was pretty upset. It was a loss, but he was like, okay, it's not a reaching game. Let's go focus on the other ones. Matthews was pretty motivating about it.
Well,
so were the players.
Kudos to your dad for telling you how it really was and being honest,
yeah.
so that he could keep it real.
So we were talking previously about the road to the championship you guys went through as a team. You went through a pretty rigorous schedule. You had to go through Salsevier and Manti, the defending champs from the previous season, and then the Richfield Wildcats, who were ranked number 1 almost the entirety of the season. But out of those 3 teams, all from Region 15, was there a team out of those 3 that was more difficult based on matchups just with you and the team?
Matchups, I don't think it was more matchup. I think the hardest team was Manti, because that was the revenge game from last year. So I think that was the one that we were all like, ooh, this is the game that we want to win right now. But we wanted to win the state game, but right there we're like, we got to win this game. This is revenge. This is something that we wanted to get back at them. and their matchup was pretty hard. They were really kind of smaller than us, but they were really aggressive on the boards. They were really good shooters, and so it was kind of a different matchup for us because we got big boys like Caleb and me, and they didn't really have anybody that was big, and so we had to kind of match up a little bit different against them because they're a little smaller but still aggressive.
So you'd say there was more emotion riding on that game more than anything else?
Yeah, a lot more emotion.
And going into the Manti game and just mentally overall in the tournament, how did you mentally prepare yourself, to overcome the emotions of, I want revenge on these guys, but at the same time you had to, keep calm and stay focused?
Because that's like hard to go into a game like that and like let your emotions take control. Sometimes I've had that happen where I was like, oh, like when we play Bear River, every time I play Bear River, I get more emotionally into the game because I hate Bear River, and I get more emotion in that game. So like in that game, I was like, okay, I could control myself. This is a game that I want to win. I'm going to have confidence. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to work my butt off, leave everything I got on the court. Because this could be my last game. I think that too. I was like, this could be my last game for something real, for a shot at state. So I'm going to leave it all on the court. And so that's what I try to do in that game.
So in the quarterfinals against the Rams, you trailed South Severe at halftime. Was there anything specifically that Coach Matthews said to you guys in the locker room to kind of get you guys under control and just kind of calm down?
Yeah, he just calmed us down. He just said, our defense is doing pretty good. They're up by 4 and at halftime. You guys are not playing your best and they're only up by 4. So that kind of shows you that you guys are still in this game. You still got to just bring it and go rebound and keep shutting down their three-pointers because that's what South Severe is good at, is shooting threes. And so he just said, go get those boards because I think they had 7 or 8 offensive boards in that first half. And so I think they got some putbacks and stuff. And so he said, go get those rebounds. We need those. And once you start getting rebounds, once you start doing that, more positive things will come. And also to slow down the offensive side because they had a lot of turnovers. Mm-hmm. And he just said to slow down, make better passes, hit the open shot, and just be unselfish and play as a team. He just kind of calmed us down. It was good. He did a good job.
Was there similar comments made? Because that in the championship game, when you get to the quarters, it's a high pressure situation, so your nerves are already high. But in the championship, it's raised just that much. So after playing Richfield, you were trailing after the first quarter. Were his comments similar to that when you were trailing South Severe?
They were kind of like that. He just said, we got to just stop them. Oh, something's going on with my phone.
No, you're fine.
But he just said, we just got to calm down because we were kind of freaking out a little bit too. He just said to calm down. He had confidence in us, and I had confidence in us as well. And he just said, you guys just got to hit your shots, be smart, and stop them on the defensive side because they hit some shots at the end of the quarter that we weren't really. He said to stop those big plays. We can't let them get some runs and stuff because they said they had that run at the end of the first quarter, and he just said to stop that run before it turns anything bad.
As a leader of the team, after your coach talks to you, you can kind of talk to your guys after as you're walking back on the court. What was your message to your teammates in both those situations after you walk back on the court? You're down by a couple points, but you feel like you're still in this.
Yeah. So in the state state tournament, I would always say smile because like sometimes when you're nervous, you don't really smile, and when you smile, you kind of sense a positive thing through your body, and like it makes you happy. Like if you just say smile, and so the whole time I was just saying, hey everybody, smile. We're in the state championship. And just smile. And I would always just say smile, keep it positive between us so we wouldn't get down on ourselves, and just to smile and be positive. So that's what I would do. And it calmed us down. And when all the teams wanted some runs in the games, I would just say, smile. We got this, boys. We're still up. We can do this. Just smile. Be positive. I just had confidence in us.
And Trey, in addition to that, having confidence in yourselves, when we interviewed Coach Matthews a few weeks ago, we talked about the difference between last year and this year, and that was last year in the tournament when you guys showed up. You guys hadn't been there before. So would you say, showing up in the tournament, did it play a factor considering the fact that you guys had been there before and you knew the situation, you knew the pressure you were going to be facing, and this year you guys had actually been in that situation before? Did that play a difference?
Yeah, that was a lot. It was a lot better this year because none of us were there last year. So it was a total different feeling, just the pressure. And this year I was like, hey, I've been here before. Let's just get to work. Let's have some fun. This is my last year. These are my last few games. And so I just went to work. And so it did play a big factor being there last year and just kind of knowing that I've been there and I need to calm down. I need to be focused on what's going on.
And just with that, I know you're focused on the tournament. You're trying to play your best. What did you do as a team to prepare yourself this year? Where this year you finally had that experience where you felt comfortable going into a state tournament. What did you guys do as a team to focus?
we just kind of played to our roles. We all know what we're good at. We focused. We stayed after, some of us stayed after and shot. We just did all the little things that we could do to become better. We were positive off and on the court. We just did everything we could so that when we get there, we're not nervous. We're more comfortable with each other on and off the court. We're having fun, and we're just being positive. I think positive was a big thing for us this year, and just staying there and having confidence in ourselves. And yeah, we just did a good job staying positive this year, I think.
So in addition to taking state as a team, you personally, you also won tournament MVP. But something interesting in the Deseret News article was that you weren't the only one from your team who made it on the all-tournament team. You know, you had Sam Hansen, a sophomore, your point guard, and then seniors Tyson Hurd and Caleb Calderwood also made it on the all-tournament team with you. So my question to you is, how much did it help you this season and in the tournament knowing your teammates, everyone around you could help you score, you know, play defense and provide production as a whole, and that you didn't have to do it all by yourself? How'd that make you feel?
That was just nice that I had those kind of people behind me, those studs like Sam, Tyson, Colin. Everybody on the team are just studs, and it was just nice to have people that knew what they were doing. Caleb knew what he was doing. He's getting on the boards. He's taking charge, making big blocks, just being a stud in the post. Tyson, awesome defense in those short corner shots. Sam just being one of the best point guards I've seen. I'm just happy to have them on my team. They're just good players. I don't think we would have won state without them easily. Would not have won state without them. It was just nice to have them on the team. I love them.
And so, I mean, you have these great teammates of yours. You've got a lot of depth. What was it like, you know, building that trust with each other, where it didn't matter if the guy was a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, that when he walked on the court in the game, that you had trust in him? How were you guys able to get this trust together?
A lot of it was off the court. We all became really good friends. I became good friends with a lot of these kids over this season, and off the court we were just good buds. We never really argued with each other. We just would laugh and we just make jokes, and we were just good buds. And I think that played a good factor. So when I saw him on the court, I was like, hey, I trust this kid. He's going to do good. And I trust him that he's going to make a good decision. And when he comes in for me, like takes my position, like I got to take a rest, I'm like, I trust you to make good choices. I trust you to hit some shots, make some big plays. And so I think a lot of off the court stuff really helped factor into that.
And we know that it doesn't matter what sport you're in, it doesn't matter what level, high school, collegiate, professional, winning any championship is difficult. But what would you say for your team was the most difficult thing to overcome this year in taking state?
Oh, that's a tough one. The most difficult thing was probably just the nerves and just kind of preparing for it. Over the offseason, a lot of us prepared for it. I think that was the hardest thing, was just kind of, and also being positive, because our teams had a little bit of a problem with being negative with each other. We'd always kind of get mad at each other. I'm probably guilty of that too. And so this year, a lot of it was positive, and that was a hard thing to overcome for a lot of us, but we all did it, and that was really nice.
And most of all, how does it feel to finally be a state champion?
Oh, man, it is one of the best feelings. I've won this. I think I've wanted it longer, but 7th grade when my brother took it his first time and then his second time, it was when I just see how happy he was, see like the joy he had when he won the MVP and stuff like that. It was just, I knew that moment. I was like, I want this bad, and I'm going to do everything I can to get it. And I think the hard work paid off.
Trey Miles, the leading scorer of the Morgan Trojans and the 3A tournament MVP and state champion, joining us tonight on the Crown Sports Podcast. Trey, we appreciate you again taking the time to come and tell us about your experiences personally and as a team, and we're happy for you. We congratulate you on both feats and congratulate you on ending your season well with a bang. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening into this week's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. You can now listen to us every week on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. It's as easy as saying, "Hey Siri, search Crown Sports in podcast."
We are on Instagram at Crown Sports Podcast and on Twitter at Crown Sports Pod. Production by Braun Butterfield, artwork by TeeTops, music by Niko, Klus, and Braun Butterfield.